Everyone knows Tyrannosaurus rex, but there was another predator, longer, faster, and built to kill very differently. Giganotosaurus didn't rely on crushing power. It relied on something else. Because instead of ending a hunt in a single bite, this dinosaur made every second worse. And if it found you first, you wouldn't be dealing with force, you'd be dealing with something much more dangerous. Hello, explorers. I'm Landon Brooks, and welcome back to the Dinosaur Dude. Today, we're taking a closer look at a predator that's often compared to Tyrannosaurus rex, but built in a completely different way. If you enjoy cinematic dinosaur content like this, make sure to like and subscribe, because these creatures only get more dangerous. At first glance, Giganotosaurus looks like a rival to T-Rex, and in some ways it was. Stretching over 40 feet in length, it was one of the longest land predators to ever live. But length doesn't always mean dominance, because while T-Rex carried more bulk and weight, Giganotosaurus was built differently. Its body was leaner, more balanced, designed for movement rather than brute force. And that difference matters, because while T-Rex was built to overpower its prey, Giganotosaurus was built to outmaneuver it. Its skull was longer, lighter, and lined with rows of blade-like teeth. Not thick, not crushing, sharp. Each tooth was built to slice through flesh rather than break bone. And that changes everything. Because instead of ending a fight instantly, each bite added damage, layer by layer, until the prey couldn't keep going. This wasn't about one perfect strike, it was about making every strike count. Instead of relying on one bite to end a fight, Giganotosaurus likely hunted by striking again and again. Quick attacks, pulling away, staying just out of reach. And every time it came back, the damage got worse. If this locked onto you, you wouldn't get a clean escape, because you wouldn't go down instantly. You'd slow down, lose strength, and fall behind the longer it kept pressure on you. And once you couldn't keep up, it wouldn't rush in. It would stay controlled, closing distance carefully, waiting for the moment when escape wasn't possible anymore. If you think this is intense, subscribe, because it only gets more dangerous from here. This is where the difference becomes clear between these two predators. T-Rex had one of the most powerful bite forces ever recorded on land. It could crush bone, end a fight quickly, and leave no chance for recovery once it connected. Giganotosaurus couldn't do that. But it didn't need to rely on that kind of force. Because where T-Rex depended on overwhelming power, Giganotosaurus depended on precision and repetition. And in a prolonged encounter, precision doesn't just deal damage, it controls how the entire fight unfolds. But that approach came with a real cost. Without that crushing bite, Giganotosaurus couldn't afford to stay close for too long. One mistake, one misstep, and the entire advantage could disappear instantly, which meant every movement had to be calculated, fast in and just as fast out. No hesitation, no wasted motion, no unnecessary risk. Because if it stayed too long within reach of something stronger, the fight could turn immediately. And in that moment, it wouldn't be the hunter anymore. It would become the one trying to survive. So, if these two predators ever crossed paths, it wouldn't be a simple fight with an obvious outcome. It would be a clash of completely different strategies. Raw power versus relentless precision. One built to end a fight instantly with overwhelming force, the other built to extend the fight, letting damage accumulate over time. And the longer that encounter lasted, the more unpredictable it became. Because the advantage wouldn't come from size alone, it would come from timing, positioning, and the ability to control the pace of the fight. And that's what makes Giganotosaurus so dangerous. Not just its size, but the way it approached every encounter. Because being the biggest predator doesn't always make you the deadliest. Sometimes it's how you fight, how you move, and how you adapt in the moment that matters more. And in the right situation, that difference can completely change the outcome. Because survival isn't always about strength. Sometimes it's about control, patience, and knowing exactly when to strike. And that's what set Giganotosaurus apart. Not stronger, not more powerful, but built to hunt in a completely different way. It didn't rely on one moment to win. It relied on controlling the fight, step by step, until there was no way out. If you want to see more dinosaurs like this, subscribe, because the next one might be even more dangerous. In the next episode, we're taking a look at a dinosaur built to survive almost anything.